Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? So, I have a quick announcement. I'll probably make this announcement again at the beginning of my next video. But with Goblin Slayer being a mere, like, pretty much review of the whole dang series, or like a rewind or a flashback into what happened, or just an overall tell you, hey, this happened, and this happened. Um, I don't really plan on making a video for that episode just because I'm pretty sure if you guys watched my previous ones, every single thing that they talk about in this week's episode, you could find in one of my reviews, if not anyone else's, because episode 11 was just an overview. And I don't know. I feel like that's just you're begging for more attention. Like if I put out a video that's me talking about everything that's happened from episode 1 to 11 and then going into 12, it just feels like it's me trying to get as much content as possible. But at the same time, I didn't want to like exclude it because um you guys are my anime people, you know what I mean? So if you guys say you want to see Goblin Slayer, please let me know in the comments down below. And let's get right into Sword Art because this episode was also very heavy on just explanations. So it felt like we are going to learn that there's either more Alice's for some reason, like maybe she was cloned or something after the 8 years, like they made a different one or they made a better one or something. Because like Kimito said, uh, I'm gonna quote Kimito twice, but from his perspective, if she's the real Alice, she should have at least remembered, some of the things that even she has done herself when it came down to she showed up, she told them that, she'll always be waiting, as like one of her spiritual messages. She told them to come to this tower in the first place. All of these different things, and then to watch one of the main characters, the blonde Kimito, straight up walk up to her, and she just backhands him with the sword. Not to mention, she's also the reason why they get caught up in this week's episode at the very end by, I want to say, the knight that took her away in the first place. I know that's pretty much my head canon on it, like just by the way he was acting and talking and stuff like that. So from my perspective, this is the guy who, um, like like he said a couple of months ago or something. I think he had done this before. Like he had taken some people away that became prisoners and stuff. Like not even long ago. So maybe it wasn't him. But with all that being said, man, he looks like he's about to go in on Kimito, and Kimito and Blonde Kimito have chains wrapped around their arms to try to fight with, where the durability probably won't last, like 3 cuts from a real sword, So we're in this weird position now where Kimito and the blonde one has to fight their way out with some chains that they have never practiced fighting with. But because they're so well trained in just combat alone, it's not that hard to make it an extension of your body. That's all I feel like combat is with weapons is how do you make this an extension of your actual body without hurting yourself? Um, and if you could do that, you're pretty much golden. So that's what we are pretty much seeing in this week's episode. Just that they learn that they could still use the system, like they could still use the S system to check the durability of the chains. Um, with both of them having separate chains, they used both the chains against themselves to break out, which was genius. That's a Kimito original move. um, but when we get out and they run and all that stuff, it just feels like they really never could have a chance in a sense, just because of how much we know about, you know, these people who can, if their imaginations are big, they can, pretty much believe that their weapons are much stronger or much crazier than they actually are, thus making them much stronger overall. And I think that's where Kimito kind of is on the fence of being able to just be like, oh yeah, I can literally obliterate anybody. But also, this might make Kimito one of like the most cockiest people ever. Now I'm thinking about it because for Kimito, he never really has a reason to, be like, oh man, I'm better than every single person in here. Besides when he was the black swordsman who was not just a beta tester, but a beta like beater, like he was a beta. And when you can, when he was trying to own that, he still felt like he was being like, he just wasn't being himself. So it's never really in Kimito's character, so to speak, to feel super cocky and confident unless he knows the outcome of the situation to a T. And in this world, I just feel like he can't make those same base decisions as easy because of how this world is, because of how the people are in it. Um, Anybody can be really a sleeper when it comes down to actual like decent power or doing some crazy attack just because their mind is powerful enough to conjure it. But what we also see, and what I thought is going to be maybe a pivotal point for Kimito to maybe achieve something much greater than he already has, is um, I don't think it's a coincidence that they put him in this labyrinth. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a coincidence that, oh, I'm all of a sudden here in this place with flowers where I also had a flower feat, not long ago where my flowers were all dead and I sucked the life out of other flowers to try to give life to a different flower. I would not be so, and so on, like the flowers like talked to him and like told him to do it too. So to then put him in this situation with no weapon besides the chains and going against someone who seemingly should be able to take them out no problem because he has his weapon. He's not, off guard or anything. He was told to be here to wait for prisoners escaping. Okay, so this man is fully ready to slap some people. Not only that, after telling them that, hey, I was here for this, I'm going to destroy you, they show that they don't care. And that also makes him more anxious to fight now, which we might see him give up a little bit of an inch, a little, just to be like, just to have fun, I guess. That's just what this guy comes off to me like. He seems like the person that's like, oh, you couldn't beat me, so I'm gonna hold back. I'm gonna only fight with one hand type of dude. Um, but yeah, we'll see. I'm just glad that we got some type of inkling of some battle coming in the near future after what we were just told and saw, because it kind of builds up a lot more of what they say if we actually can see in action what all is coming. So with that being said, guys, I am not really sure how they're going to get out of this. I just want to see if they get out of it or if this is actually going to be one of these situations where it's like an actual prison break from somewhere high def, like they just can't get out. Because if Alice can straight up make the call on somebody who pretty much is not he Kimito is not created in this machine like they're created. So for her to still predict that he's going to do that seem absolutely crazy. Like she's super powerful. Um, and I think that's just an ability of like that they might have instilled on her to see like partially the future, or like the guy said in the garden, she is supposedly his monitor. So if she is the monitor of him, maybe that role alone makes it so you can see a little bit differently than what you would see for someone else. I'm not entirely sure for that. Um, but yeah, I completely understand that if we are to see any more of these like ridiculous characters, um, kind of I'm thinking more like the students that were like raising their swords and all this aura's coming off of it, and Kimito's explaining it. If they are telling me everything that they just told me and I believe it, that means we're going to be seeing some ridiculous power probably coming off this guy. And I'm hoping it's not enough power to actually make Kimito like break his limits, because if he breaks his limits and he only has a chain and beats this guy, everybody's getting dusted once he gets his sword back. And we know the sword is at least in the vicinity because of his two trainees that had the bright idea of at least bringing the swords to when they were being taken off to give them to the person taking them. Which I didn't even think they were going to allow it. I mean, a lot of things were allowed that I probably wouldn't that I wouldn't allow, including when she knew that there might have been a prison escape. I don't know. There's really weird aspects that are being brought up in the sense of the Alice person acted pretty human when it came down to allowing the girls 1 minute to talk when the other Alice got picked up and all the villagers literally held down the kids and pinned and made sure they couldn't move at all because, the knight didn't give any permission like that. The knight didn't care to say something like that. So that also gave me a little bit of hope that it could be her because, I mean, in all fairness, she didn't have to take the swords because I mean, they're clearly trained with those weapons, and those are the weapons they straight up committed the crimes with. I mean, unless you wanted that, the weapons that were there that committed the crime, that would make more sense. But to just take them in honor of the people who committed the crime seems kind of weird. So that was also like a red flag when I saw. I was like, oh, maybe she's in there. Then the 1 minute, maybe that she ended it a little bit shorter because of jealousy or something, because one girl's like, wait for me forever, and I'm gonna be the one to save you and all this and stuff. So if she does remember that, it would make sense why 1 minute turned into like 30 seconds. It just feel like she cut that visiting hour a little bit shorter than expected, in my opinion. I mean, anime minutes can go a lot faster if you want to dispute that or whatever, but um, as of right now, we are in a crazy position to see a lot of different characters learning about themselves, learning about others, and not only that, but growing as fighters rapidly because as escaped prisoners, they're always going to have to try to make what's the move that's best for them, or they pretty much die, or they pretty much get captured and they're back in the situation that they were. But this whole time, this Alice is talking about execution, she's talking about outright killing them after they have been questioned. And I think all this questioning and stuff is maybe how the memories are lost in the first place, which would make sense why Alice doesn't have hers because she was clearly probably questioned about why she went to the dark territory, why she touched the dark territory, and all that stuff. And if that's the case, then she would have lost her memory after explaining all that. But yeah, uh, I hope that we see more and more of explanations as to why Alice is the way she is, if it's that one. But we already know what blonde Kimito and normal Kimito are gonna do. They're going to fight regardless of breaking the laws, being escaped prisoners. So we're really watching Kimito be one of the people that he's always fought against, which is really cool in my opinion and a great twist on his narrative as a character. Why not put him in the tragic situation where he's being false prophesized and treated as if he's one of the criminals that he's always been putting in jail or putting behind bars in the virtual world? So that's something to think about. Uh, And if it is something that pops up, I will definitely be right here telling you guys you should have subscribed to me because I told you so. Uh, and after all that, if you still don't believe me, then you should subscribe so then I could try again to tell you so. But with that, my anime people, I think I might end it right there. Uh, uh, because right now I kind of want to. I gotta watch another anime, but it sucks that I even watched Goblin Slayer because now I feel like I kind of lost out on that time I could have been using to make a, or I missed out on that time that I could have been watching something else to make another video. So if my next video doesn't come out relatively quick, it's because I'm still making it as of now, and I still gotta watch it. So if you guys are interested in the next video I will be dropping, it will be on a show called Radiance, one of my favorite shows of 2018 as well right now as um, Kaganeri Circus. One of these underrated animes that sure they did have like trailers and sure they had things pop up, but there are no way, shape, or form any types of people that I could just reach out to and ask about these animes because no one really read their mangas or, actually, well, that I talk to anyway. So I'm really happy to get to watch these things and talk to you about them. So my anime people, I hope you have a good day, night, morning, evening, whatever the case is. And I will definitely talk to you in the next one. If you do decide to subscribe, and if you do so, please share the video and drop a like because it greatly helps my channel. And for this channel, I just want a lot of good uh, anime lovers on my channel to just talk anime, or if we find something else to talk about while we are talking about our love for anime, we talk about that too. I like having a community of people where they can go in there, say what they want, and not feel like they're about to come out just being judged full-heartedly. So it's nice to say I have started building that kind of community, and I would love to grow it bigger with you guys. So if you would help me, it would be greatly appreciated. And with that, everybody, I will talk to you in the next one. All right, peace.